Hi guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today we're gonna discuss about how I water orchids that are planted in the Orchitop pots. This subject was really requested here on YouTube and also on my Twitter account, so I really hope this will be useful for you guys. I will not make the review of these pots today. I want to film the watering process first, and then I'm gonna do the review on them. Alrighty, so there are two methods in which I water my orchids planted in Orchitops. The first one would be the soaking method. Now for this, I get myself a bowl that can contain the pot. Because this is a small pot, I don't need a very big bowl. I place the orchid inside and I simply pour water inside the bowl. I do not wet the crowns or the joints between the leaves and the stem, as you know, to avoid crown rot, and I actually fill the bowl to the brim of the Orchitop pot. And now I just leave this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now I use the soaking method in my summertime. This is particularly good with bark media, which is not very water retentive, or if you live in an environment which is warm, maybe dry, and so on. Also, these pots are really ventilated, so it is a good idea to soak orchids from time to time, especially if you're using bark chips. As for the aerial roots, which don't benefit from the moisture through the soaking, I just spray them from time to time to keep them from desiccating. Okay, after about 10 to 15 minutes, it is time to pull out the orchid. And what I do actually is let it drain on the Orchitop tray. Just like so. After another few minutes, my pot is completely drained. So what I do is I discard the water in the tray and I simply put back my orchid and place it in its place. Now if there is a little water in the tray, there's really no trouble because this pot sits quite a bit on top of the tray, so it will not sit in water. So this is the first method of watering my orchids in the Orchitop pot, by soaking them. As you can see, it's pretty easy, but also I use just the flushing of the pot method, and this is particularly useful for those orchids who don't necessarily need a soak, or you live in a colder or more humid environment, or simply it's winter and it's cold. And this is actually how I water the Renanthera orchid. I simply bring it in the bathroom, I put it in the bathtub, and I run water through the pot with the shower. Now because the pot has so much ventilation, I don't necessarily need to water from above. I do so to water all the roots, but I can simply direct the flow of the water on the sides of the pot. The slits are just so large that everything will get wet. So if you have an orchid which is pretty prone to some rotting, you can obviously do this. You don't necessarily need to water the top of the media. And really, this is how I water my Renanthera on a regular basis because I do not have a big enough bowl for it. But it works well for this particular type of orchid. It is a Vendacious orchid, and it doesn't seem to mind the fact that I don't soak it. Now, the frequency of watering, of course, will depend on your environment, just like with any other type of pot. In my summertime, I needed to do the soaking method every 4 days or so for the Phalaenopsis orchid, and actually water the Renanthera every 2 days or so. But that orchid has a layer of lava rock, so it's not pure bark. It does not retain that much water. So you'll have to adjust the frequency depending on the type of orchid you have, the type of media, and of course your environment or season. Now, there is one more way of using the Orchitop pots, and this is semi-hydroponics. And actually, you heard well. I'm not experimenting with this particular method just yet, but I do have some photos to show you. These photos were sent in by Ralph, which is my contact person from Orchitop, and he's a wonderful person. He provides information on my website orchidnature.com. So as you can see, he is experimenting with the semi-hydroponic aspect as well. As I was saying, the pot does sit raised from its tray, but the tray's rim is actually high enough to maintain a sort of a reservoir of water. So he's experimenting with this, and so far he has some success with some orchids. So actually you can experiment with this as well. If this is something you are interested in, just drop me a comment down below and I'll redirect it to Ralph, see what he says, and maybe give you some more advice on the semi-hydroponic aspect of things. As I was saying, I'm not in an environment to try this out just yet, but I do want to try it next year when I will completely change environments and I will not have such low temperatures in my growing room. So I think the experiment with semi-hydroponics will be better for me. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up. If you didn't see the video in which I presented the Orchitop pots, just click on the info card on the screen right now and you'll be directed to that video. If you'd like to see more videos from me, simply subscribe to my channel. I post on a daily basis. Also, feel free to leave me comments or suggestions for videos in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you click on the left side of your screen, you'll be directed to orchidnature.com, where you'll find care sheets, identification sheets, and also you can talk to us in the forum section. And on the right side of your screen, you can click to watch another orchid video. Thank you for joining. I'll see you next time. Bye!